Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at an American locomotive. This is a freight locomotive and it's made by a Japanese model railway manufacturer called KATO, or is it KATO? It's KATO, we'll call it. So KATO, Japanese. They primarily specialise in N gauge for Japanese outline and prototype trains, but in HO scale they manufacture a lot of American rolling stock. So I've heard reasonably good things about KATO, you know, as far as I can say. Reasonable detail, reasonable running quality. Haven't heard any horror stories, so I decided to go for this locomotive because I found it on eBay at a very good price, and about £100 sterling. Fitted with a digital command control chip ready to be programmed, and pretty good detail, and it's, as you can see from the box, it's quite a big locomotive. So what locomotive is it? Well, it's the General Motors Electromotive Division SD90 MAC. This locomotive, as I said, a freight locomotive. Now these units, the SD90 MACs, were to be a 6,000 horsepower locomotive supplied by General Motors EMD to various customers, railroads across America and within Canada. They had issues with the reliability of the 6,000 horsepower prime mover, so they ended up supplying the various railroads with a lower 4,300 horsepower prime mover, with the option to upgrade to the 6,000 horsepower prime mover when they got the issues sorted. A lot of those railroads were happy enough with the 4,300 prime mover and they stayed with it because it was very reliable. Now, Electromotive Division, this is the biggest diesel locomotive, single engine, so one single prime mover. And this is the biggest one they build. The only locomotive in the world that's bigger than this is a locomotive known as the DDA 40X, which is a twin engine, so two prime movers, both 3,300 horsepower, so that's 6,600 horsepower locomotive. It's the biggest and most powerful diesel engine in the world. So this one, just a step down from that. So heavy freight locomotive. So there's the end of the box there. As you can see from the label, she's in the Union Pacific paint scheme, running number 8242, and EMD, Electromotive Division, SD for special duty, so 6-axle locomotive, 9043 MAC. So really interesting, you know, and these locomotives, very powerful, extremely powerful. Right, let's have a look at the model and see what you think. I'll bring her in slowly here because she is she's a big engine. So here she is here. I'll just try and hold her gently there. Now, let me zoom out a little bit here. She's in the Union Pacific paint scheme. Try and get her in focus there. Now, you can see this is quite a long locomotive. Really interesting. Very heavy. So in real life, as I said, we know that these had a 4,300 horsepower prime mover. They were around the 80 feet in length, really long, and they also weighed about wasn't far off 200 tons, so that's like incredible weight. They built about over the 600 of these units for various railroads. You know, you can see some, it's got the distinctive Union Pacific grey and kind of yellow paint scheme. Really, really cool. Really heavy. Very, very heavy. So this model, like you can see there, like it's got some great detail. Some of the railings are missing here. They weren't fitted. There is just a wealth of detail in the box to be fitted on this locomotive. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing it. Obviously has the KD style cuppers. You can see there, look, how many has it got? It's got 3 fans on the roof and a further fan at the back there. Really, really, very, very interesting. Really long walkway along the body of the locomotive, all the railings on it, and huge fuel tank, massive, massive long fuel tanks on this. You know, turn it around real carefully. Little flag, Union Pacific. If I zoom in there, maybe zoom out. Has a Union Pacific flag on it. 8242 is the running number. All kinds of little hidden details on this now. Red stripe running along the just before the roof section. The labels here, don't know what they say on it, but they're so small. The bogie detail is not too bad. Grills at the rear end of the locomotive. Steps there down from the walkboard. You can see where the rails should be on the front board there. They're in the box now. I'll show you the detail bag that's with this. And as I said, there's a DCC decoder in this model. I don't know what type it is. These models from KATO don't come DCC fitted, so the previous owner fitted a chip. See the way the engine here kind of fans out from the side of the body. All kinds of doors on the side for working on the engine. Really, really cool. It's so big. You can see the size of this locomotive in my hand. It's quite heavy in my hand. And obviously this model, I know from looking up the KATO webpage, it has a centrally mounted motor with flywheels either side, going to the gearboxes on the bogie ends. And she's an ST unit, which means she's 6-axle, so per bogie. So 1, 2, 3. So 6-axle. SD for special duty, so you know, heavy freight work. You know, that's what Union Pacific were. You know, really moving freight was exactly what they do. You know. But other railroads did have the 43 MACs. Really, really cool. The Union Pacific logo on the front with the wings, headboards here. This model does have lights. I think it has ditch lights as well. Yeah, it has. There's the main headlights there with marker boards, 8242 set within them. Nice cab, really. I don't think there's much detail in the cab. It's hard to see in. I haven't opened this model. I really don't want to. But yeah, knuckle coupler, KD coupler at the front there. Really, this locomotive from the layout, it pulls the CMX wagon. It's so powerful. You know, there's lights at the back here as well. You know, for she's running in reverse. Really, really cool. So I'll stick her on the track and see what she runs like. Really, really cool locomotive. And I do like the Union Pacific locomotives. I might even pick up another KATO locomotive. You know, KATO do a it's a locomotive I had my eye on for a while. It's called the P42, and it's a passenger diesel locomotive in America. Obviously passenger only, and really I need to pick up the particular coaches that run with the P42. They're superliner coaches and they're quite expensive. But I do like that that locomotive, the P42. I think it looks pretty cool. So here is some of the detail that comes with this locomotive. I mean, it is just ridiculous. It'd be all day and all night fitting that, so I don't think it'll be fitting. I'll put the rest of the front railings that should be on there on, and there's actually more detail in the box as well, which is crazy. So yeah, so what do you think of this? Really, really different, isn't it? Yeah, you can see a bit better. The details, all kinds of grills, all kinds of little doors going on, you know. There's some kind of writing there. It's very hard to see it. I think it's something like www.unionpacificrailroad.com. It has their logo there. All kinds of air horns there. Little railings here and there. The grills on the roof. Grills at the end. Really, really cool. So we'll stick her on the track and see what the performance is like. Okay, she's here on the track, ready to be to call up the address on the Hornby Select. So Hornby Select, right, when I was trying to program in this locomotive, just for the first couple of minutes after programming, absolutely nothing happened, and then suddenly she fired into action. It was like either the chip wasn't recognized by the Select, or the Select couldn't find this chip within its program. I don't know, because the Hornby Select isn't it's kind of non-standard. It's a good entry-level controller, but that's about it. So as I said, I don't know what decoder is inside this locomotive, but it all worked out and it still operates. So the address on this locomotive is number 8, and I'm going to select. That's it. Now it takes a good turn of the throttle here for her to fire into action. When I get to about, I say about 11 o'clock, then she starts moving. So she is quite slow, smooth on the track. So turning up, turning up, turning up, and there you go, 11 o'clock. And maybe it's the gearing on this locomotive. She doesn't run really fast. I have the front headlights on there. The ditch lights are on as well. The length of this locomotive is unbelievable. As I said, she's all-wheel pickup. She's all-wheel drive on the track here, and she pulls the CMX wagon, which is it's a heavy brass wagon, to clean the track. You can see the lights there. They're bright without being too bright. See the Class 60 there, they're about the same length. Just bear in mind that the SD90, it's HO scale, so if you scaled it up to 00 scale, it'll be bigger. Class 60, way bigger. A little rumble from the motor, but she's quite smooth on the track. As I say, KATO, as far as any information I found about them, they seem to be producing reliable locomotives, reasonable quality. They're very worse mid-range locomotives. There are other manufacturers, plenty of them in the United States, producing American prototypes. You got Atlas, Athearn, Walthers. Wow. Loads of them. So what do you think of the SD90? There's a little bit of work to do on it, a couple of railings just to reattach, and apart from that, she runs really well, very reliable, no issues. So yeah, as I say, I would love to have another KATO locomotive in the collection, another American locomotive in the collection. So I'm actually going to pull her into the siding here. I'm going to give her a slow speed test over the point mark and see how she handles it. Just going into the sidings here. Let's see if I can keep her in focus while I turn the controller down. She's going real slowly now. She's going to come over the point work. Let's give you an aerial view. Oop. I beg your pardon, I switched the point work in the yard, but didn't switch the point work from the main line. That was pretty smooth. Very smooth. Wowzers. And there is a train at the bottom there, so let me get down here and slow her down. Yeah, pretty cool. So, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm going to do a series of just looking at some of the locomotives on the layout, and as soon as I get some scenic material, I'll be cracking on again with the scenics and the building of the layout. Until then, I hope you enjoyed it. Everyone take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye.